Next, we're going to move into talking about the data governance platforms. And we've spent quite a bit of time over the last year at Eckerson discussing data governance platforms and how they've been evolving and coming up with what we think is required, really necessary to support a healthy data governance program. So if we go to the next slide, so this is the framework we came up with. And over years of working within data governance, both Josh and I have had to work with whatever tools we had at hand, and have both, been dreaming up these, this type of platform that would be really helpful for us. So, to manage the workflows and facilitate search across all data assets, and to provide, a portal that people can go to as a single source of data governance information and look up information on their data council, or what does it mean to be a data steward, or what training's available for me, things like that. That's where that portal comes in handy. And then having that search capability across all of the different components. So your data catalog, business glossary, but also your policy and compliance information. So if you have an inventory of your policies and standards and guidelines, that search returns that information, and you get a full picture of that data intelligence. And that's really what it's about, is giving people access to that data intelligence so they can perform their role within data governance. And so the blue box at the top, that's really what we see as the core functional components of the data governance platform. Now, at the bottom, you see the orange and the green. That's where we're dividing kind of data governance from data management. And I'm sure all of you have seen platforms where master data management or data quality is embedded with data governance, and they're blended together. And that's just the way things have evolved over time. But from a conceptual perspective, this is how we see it. There needs to be a lot of synergies between these platforms. So, you have your data security platforms and your integration platforms feeding metadata back into the governance to support that intelligence gathering. But then we're feeding information from the governance platforms back into the metadata functions. And these metadata functions can be just modules within a greater platform. It's just we've separated them this way so we can talk to them a little bit differently. So we're sending, it could be metadata down to these platforms to help the operations. So if you're doing dynamic obfuscation of data using metadata, we can be passing that metadata and the access rules to that platform. If you need additional context for your data privacy tools, we can pass that from the data governance down. So who is the steward for a specific data asset? We don't want to be maintaining that metadata in multiple places. So if we can synchronize it across these platforms, it's more efficient, easier to sustain that metadata. Then at the sides, you can see that we anticipate the need to plug third parties into all of these platforms to create those synergies across and pass information to those applications so they can perform their functions in data management, whether it's protecting information or making it easily accessible to other people.